Hey, everybody, it's the coach. Welcome to the special Saturday edition of the NFL on EA Sports. Coming up, we'll get a chance to see Kirk Cousins and the Minnesota Vikings as they take on Dak Prescott and the defending NFC East champs, the Dallas Cowboys. With that, let's get on over to AT&T Stadium in Arlington for the call from Jerry World. Here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
We are sandwiched between Fort Worth and Dallas, Texas, and Arlington at the luxurious AT&T Stadium. Obviously, they do everything big here in Dallas, and the introduction to the Cowboys, no exception. They're set for football in Big D as their guys will do battle with the Minnesota Vikings. From up top next to Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gaudin. And, folks, we were already excited for this game. And then before the contest, you and I are down on the field outside the white lines.
Yes, we were following the rules.
We were following the rules, and a ball comes over our direction, but we can't see it. Somebody yells heads up, and instinctively you turn around and you snare it one-handed with your off left hand. So now we're really ready for football.
No gloves either.
No gloves.
No gloves. Not like what the guys are wearing playing the game now. But wasn't that a whole lot better than that time we were down there? And I got the coffee spilled on me when I got nailed by the punt returner.
That happened to the Vikings, right?
Yes, a much better job of being heads up this time. Thank you for the notice.
Dan Bailey now to put the ball in the air, and we are underway from AT&T Stadium. This fielded at the 2. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. The Cowboys take the field, and the man leading them, Dak Prescott, who's been remarkably consistent through his first 3 NFL seasons, 23, 22, and 22 touchdown passes as he put together a 32-16 regular season record in those 3 years at the helm. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. They run with Ezekiel Elliott, last year's NFL rushing leader. Only a couple for him there on the game's first play, and it's 2nd down. And the offensive starters for Dallas.
It's so good to see big number 72, Travis Frederick, back in a Cowboys uniform. Remember, he missed all of last season with Guillain-Barré syndrome. And prior to that, he'd been to the Pro Bowl 4 straight times at center. And his return, a huge boost to the offensive line. Better to have him in uniform than coaching.
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Off play action to Elliott. Here's Prescott. Looking deep in the direction of Cooper. And he knocks the ball away, and it falls incomplete. Amari Cooper, his intended receiver, but now it's 3rd down. And a look at the Vikings defensive unit.
Harrison Smith's play has been so good in the NFL that he demands the respect of everyone. And I remember a couple years ago when we talked about the top safeties, his name didn't come up in the first group. It does now. I remember doing a game a couple of years ago where the Rams were trying a lot of razzle-dazzle stuff. And Mike Zimmer, his head coach, pretty much said, sick him to Harrison Smith, and he ended that in a hurry. He can play close to the line of scrimmage, can also cover deep.
So the failure to connect on 2nd down, that leaves him staring up here at a 3rd and 8. And he can't find anywhere to go with it, and he goes down. The defensive end, Danielle Hunter, drops him.
It always helps for a visiting team to come in and set the tone on defense. In fact, when we talked with them prior to the game, they said they wanted this home crowd to feel like they had to hide their valuables when they were in town.
Well, the home crowd quiet now early. See if their offense can take over and get some points on the board. So on 4th down, here's Chris Jones to punt it away. Back deep is a very dangerous Mike Hughes. This will be fielded at the 17. Give him 11 yards that time on the return. And the Vikings will take over here 1st and 10. Kirk Cousins brings out the Minnesota Vikings here, Charles. Gives us a chance to talk about Kirk, who had such a great October. And then
they called it, don't you?
Kirktober?
Kirktober.
Well, Kirk Timber, that doesn't have as good of a ring. But November, look, 3 touchdowns, no interceptions in the loss to Kansas City Week 9, but just 19 of 38. So that completion percentage at 50%, not near the 72% that he came in at.
And 78% during the month of October when he was the NFC Offensive Player of the Month. He was just off a little bit. Had opportunities. Wasn't quite as accurate as he's been.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Defensive end DeMarcus Lawrence applied the heat. That's called setting the tone right away.
It certainly is, and it lets you know just how important communication is amongst the offensive line. They talk about it all the time, knowing each other's moves. You've got to be coordinated and in sync. Otherwise, your quarterback gets hit.
Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. Here's Cousins. He's got it complete to Stephon Diggs. A good pickup there, 13 yards as they get closer for 3rd down.
They sure put the coverage guys in a stress on that one. They thought they were going deep. Ends up curling inside for a nice chunk of yardage.
And on 3rd down, the Cowboys bring in an extra defensive back. From the shotgun, it's Cousins. Lets it fly for Thielen. And got his man complete. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. 30 yards there. And, of course, the 1st down as well.
We always talk about the guy who paid off the play, don't we? A guy who caught it or ran it. But how about the elements that go into making a big play? This one in particular, able to scan the field, pocket held up nicely. What a terrific job by the offensive line. The route, well run, and the football, right on the money.
So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. Cousins, and Diggs has it. No gain there on the completion, 2nd and 10. And the offensive starters for the Vikings.
And the play of this offensive line is going to be so important in this game because we saw the sack a minute or so ago. They've got to be able to give their guy time to throw. That means communication and being physical is vital. Otherwise, this could be a long game.
Had the completed pass, but for no gain, stopped right at the line, so it's 2nd and 10. Again, it's Cousins. Toward the center of the field, but it's incomplete. Dalvin Cook is running back, the intended target, and it's 3rd down. And now the defense for Dallas.
Sean Lee is a linebacker with an exciting mix of tackling ability and coverage skills.
They had the incomplete pass on 2nd down. Now they need a big play here, 3rd and 10. Cousins again, setting up the screen for Cook. And he probably should have been down earlier, but they do finally get to him 3 yards short of the line to gain. Well, the screen gets 7, but it's not enough, and it'll be 4th down. Instead of throwing it downfield, Charles, they just tried to dump it underneath there. You like the call?
I do. I think it's a high percentage play because you get the completion, and what you're counting on is your back to use his legs and his elusiveness to make people miss and pick up the 1st down. In this case, it didn't happen.
On now the former Cowboy, Dan Bailey, for the field goal try. From the right hash, it's a 46-yard attempt. Bailey's kick is good. And the Vikings have a 3-0 lead. Had just the one big play on the drive, but that was enough to put him in field goal range.
Yeah, one big play of what they hope will be many others throughout the game. Every team has a different target for the number of plays like that, those explosives that we talk about. That allowed them to put points on the board on that drive. Let's see how the rest of the game goes.
Now, after the field goal, Bailey will kick it away. This will be fielded at the 6. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. And the last drive, their first drive, 3 and out. What changes here, if anything?
I think it's making sure the guys that you trust the most with the ball, the biggest playmakers you have, that they touch it on this possession to try and get things moving.
So get it to the horses.
Without a doubt. They're the ones that typically end up in the end zone.
So 1st and 10 now from the 30.
Here we go. Here we go. Here we go.
And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be 2nd down.
Well, we're not playing 3 yards in a cloud of dust football anymore. I kind of get why those old school coaches sometimes didn't want to throw the football. Because if it's popped up in the air, it almost turns into slow motion, and both sides trying to get to the football, and you're holding your breath wondering whether it's going to go good or bad for your team.
On 2nd down, Elliott. The 2nd down play, not much better than the first, just a gain of 1 there.
Well, that's a good start to this drive on the defensive side of the ball.
Force the incompletion on 1st down, then you're able to shut down the running play on 2nd.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised now. A little bit of pressure going at the quarterback in the expected passing situation.
On 3rd down, it's Prescott. He finds Randall Cobb with a completion. They do get 9, but it leads to 4th down.
One of the money routes for any offense, the drag route. So tough to defend because the receiver can stop at any point and make himself available to the quarterback and get a completion. But I love the communication we saw there. All the defenders pointing out the receiver, where he was going, and then they're able to rally to the ball after the catch and stop him short of a 1st down.
Out now comes the Cowboys punter as he'll kick it away for the 2nd time. And this one hits at the 1, continues on into the end zone for a touchback. Vikings offense gets set for their next possession here. You know, I mentioned the Kansas City game. That was one you had, the Kansas City field goal to win it 26-23 in Week 9. That broke the 4-game win streak for the Vikings. What else did you glean from that game for Minnesota now at 6-3?
That they're still a prime contender. I mean, this team is very good. Off a little bit on offense, wasn't their normal production. Defense gave up a big 91-yard touchdown run to Damian Williams. That's not normal for them. Still, we're in the game despite not playing with, I guess you would call it their A game in this one. Not to take credit away from Kansas City. But this Vikings team, week in, week out, is going to be very difficult for anyone to solve. Look for them to be in it all the way.
They'll try to bounce back upcoming on a road game. They're going to Dallas in Week 10. After the incompletion, here's 2nd and 10 from the 20. Off the play fake, Cousins. He'll dump this off to Cook. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. A gain there of 21 yards.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
Check, block 54, block 54. Check tight.
On play action, Cousins. It's complete to Diggs. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. That's now a pair of explosive plays in succession, both north of 20 yards.
I don't care who you put on him. He's going to be a handful in one-on-one throws.
Yeah, right now, you're right. They're in man-to-man. Maybe need some safety help.
I would say that'd be a good idea. Double team him somehow. I'm going to have to make someone else beat me rather than let him shred my defense.
So from Cowboy territory now, here's 1st and 10 at the 36. And he's going to get this inside the 30. 10 yards, and it's good for a Viking first down.
I like watching the wide receiver screen because it's a real teamwork play. Because guess what? The guy catching the ball, he'll get all the credit. But how about the people up to block in front of him, either fellow receivers or offensive linemen? That makes that play a really nice timing play, and sometimes it can break big.
Play fake. Cousins. That's complete to the receiver, Thielen. And he'll be tackled at the 23 after a gain of 3. The completion good for 3, and it's second down.
It's a game of matchups, and that's why you take your receivers and move them around a bunch, especially your best guys. And when they work out of the slot, you often hear the coaches talk about how great it is because it gives you a two-way go. You can break out or you can break in. That makes it hard to defend.
To throw again on second down. Cousins. He gets this one into the hands of Dalvin Cook. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. It's a gain of 5, and that's going to lead to a third down.
And we see another pitch and catch there to the running back. This position just continues to evolve. They become just as critical to the passing attack as a lot of receivers, tight ends, because their ability to make people miss in the open field can really generate big plays for an offense.
And the Cowboys here on third down, bringing in an extra defensive back. Play action now. Cousins. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Jalen Smith. He's the culprit, causes a loss of 5, and it brings up fourth down.
We're talking about how teams are so competitively matched, and you just want to make those plays that give you an advantage. How about right here? The difference between letting them score a touchdown versus holding them to a field goal? That's absolutely huge with the play he just made.
And you know he hated taking the loss there on third down. And for the second time tonight, this field goal unit comes out here. He hit his first, this one from 40 yards out. And Bailey able to knock it through. And that'll make it 6-0 here in the first. So scores on their first 2 possessions, but 6-0, so field goals probably not what they were hoping for.
Yeah, you're exactly right about that. Not what they were hoping for, but they should be happy that they have points on the board. It almost feels like that old slow and steady wins the race, doesn't it? In this case, though, they want to be slow and steady now, but get explosive later and put the points up on the board.
Now, after the field goal, Bailey will kick it away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And all that work, but he stopped where he ultimately would have been had he simply taken a knee, and that's the 25-yard line. Here's the Dallas offense now, heading back out onto the field. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on third down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a first down and change our momentum?
So Prescott and the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. They play fake to Elliott. Now Prescott. And his throw here's incomplete. Amari Cooper, the intended target. And now it's second down.
Well, it certainly appears that they're going to try and keep getting him the football. It's the 3rd time they've looked in his direction. Unfortunately, haven't completed one yet, but I'm not sure they're going to shy away from him. They feel like they've got something there, and they want to capitalize on it.
I think you're right. We're only in the first quarter, so a lot of opportunities ahead. On second down, it's Elliott. Only a yard on the pickup there, so it leaves them needing a conversion here on 3rd and a tough 9.
One thing to keep in mind, partner, especially in the second half, when you've got a running back of this size, of these dimensions, I can just tell you, attrition does set in for a defense because you're excited about hitting him in the first half. Maybe not so much in the second half, and some of these shorter gains turn into bigger runs later.
He may try and run for this. And he'll slide down to avoid the tackle. Able to make something out of nothing there. 17 yards and a first down.
When they watch film of this game and hand out the grade sheets, he's going to really like getting a double plus on this play. Why? He scrambles and picks up a first down. But what else does he do? Protects himself by sliding and avoiding the big hit. Double plus, big-time play.
A first down carry by Elliott. And he's got it across the midfield stripe and into Viking territory. 9 yards is the pickup there, and they'll have a 2nd and 1. For Zeke, what a first 3 years he's had in the NFL. Last year, his 2nd rushing title, 1,434 yards. Not as many as 1,631 that he had as a rookie, but still his yards per game average was the best in the National Football League. This is Elliott. And he'll be brought down, it looks like right at the 40. 7 yards there and a first down.
I think they like this drive a little bit better there, partner. Running game helping out, picking up some of the slack. Because remember the last drive, they went 3 and out.
Check back 54. Line 54. Man, that's trash. That's trash.
On first down. It's Elliott. Oh, Elliott going to be hit. He coughs it up. Loose football. And the Vikings pick up the football. And he'll get in. Touchdown, Minnesota. Even the great ones, some of the best, they're not immune to the fumble, and here it really hurts them.
If the ball gets away from any runner's body, that's when the defense pokes at it, swipes at it, swats at it, and finds a way to create a big play for themselves.
Dan Bailey now for the extra point. And this is up, it's through, it extends their first quarter lead to 13-0. So not only the cough up, but then the pickup on the other side, the scoop, and the score the other way, the fumble return for a touchdown. So here's the kickoff now as they'll get it again following that fumble return for a score. This is taken at his 4. And he'll take it up past the 25 to the 26-yard line. And let's gaze our attention on Ezekiel Elliott. Looking for a bounce back. Had the fumble a moment ago that went for a touchdown the other direction. See if he can get back in rhythm.
And you have to be very careful about having too quick of a hook with really good players. I did a guy's game in high school where he fumbled 3 times in the first quarter, finished with over 300 yards on the night, later ended up in the NFL. If you've got a talented back, give it back to him.
The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. A first down throw for Prescott. He's going to find Gallup here complete. Give him a couple on the catch. It's 2nd and 8.
One thing you're hoping for when you run drag routes, you're able to hit a receiver in stride, and he can pick up a lot of yardage after the catch. But in this situation, the defense was effective, able to stop him before he could get a good head of steam going.
So 2nd and 8 here after the pass play for 2 yards on first down. Elliott running right. They'll only get a couple up to about the 30.
Well, that didn't appear to be a run blitz. He just darted in once he saw the run develop. That appeared to be a case of see ball, get ball.
An extra defender in the secondary for the Vikings here on 3rd down. Prescott from the gun. Drops it underneath to Elliott. And they'll get him down at the 34, and he's going to be short of the first by a few yards.
So much about offense is what you call hidden yardage. You know, you throw the ball to someone, they catch it, and then they can make a big play. You know, they create a play, run after catch. They did a really nice job here of limiting that and keeping him from a first down.
Yeah, stopped him in his tracks. Out now comes the Cowboys punter as he's on here to punt it away. And he's getting a workout here in this first quarter as he gets it away. And great special teams work here. This is knocking on the door of the 5. They'll spot it at the 6-yard line.
Well, someone's going to be happy with that effort. You know who else is going to be happy? His defense.
Absolutely.
He's created a very long field for that offense to try to traverse.
And he got some help from Mr. Football there, checking up nicely. Good English on that punt. They go play action. Cousins. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's second down.
We'll put a check mark in the box where the defense coordinator was saying, how well can we stay with these receivers if we're in man coverage? Because he just did it on that one. Force the incompletion. That allowed him to get bolder with his pass rush, won't it?
Absolutely. Frees up your guys elsewhere. After the incomplete pass, here now is 2nd and 10. Here's Dalvin Cook, third year back from Florida State. And a gain of about 4 here moves this from the 6 up to the 10. Give him 4 on the ground there. They're now left with 3rd and 6.
Well, they didn't get a whole lot out of that one, but I think you've got to continue to try and run and try and keep the defense honest.
You mean or also just sit back, dare you to throw it on every down?
Yeah, you get your quarterback hit a lot that way, too.
On 3rd down, Cousins. And this is going to be incomplete.
They went with the dime look that time on defense, just flooded the field with defensive backs, blanketed everyone, took away all the passing angles, thus the incompletion.
Here's Britton Colquitt now, as his first punt will come from inside his own end zone. Breaks through the contact. A good return there. Call it 13 yards. And the Cowboys are going to take over in great position here with a 1st and 10. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. And still no points on the scoreboard. You're coming off of the 3 and out. They're just looking for anything to grab onto right now, aren't they?
I'm wondering if someone's going to take charge in the huddle. You know, we always look to the quarterback, but sometimes it's another player on the team, a star, a veteran, someone with some excitement and energy. It's like, all right, guys, let's shake things up and let's go, because they still have an opportunity to make things happen.
Shake it off.
I hope you brought your left because I'm about to take you to school.
They'll run on 1st down. Elliott. And that play goes nowhere. Taken down, losing yardage at the 50, right at midfield. It'll be a loss of a yard, and that'll bring up a 2nd and 11.
Anthony Barr got a real education at UCLA in playing not just his normal position of stand-up outside linebacker, but down defensive end. So he had to incorporate a variety of moves, take on bigger people. So he learned great leverage while he was there. That really helps him when he's trying to stop people running the ball.
Born in South Bend, Indiana. Thought about going back to go to Notre Dame, but you're right. Great career at UCLA and now a great career in the NFL. On 2nd down now, it's Elliott. 4 yards on the pickup there as they get it back to a more manageable 3rd and 7.
It's a gain of 4. Makes it 3rd and 7. And
this should be the final play before the quarter ends.
Single.
13-0 is the score after one on EA Sports. Start of the second quarter, and it's the Cowboys in possession. They'll need to convert a 3rd and 7, though, to start things out. Out of the gun, here's Prescott. And this one hauled in by Tavon Austin. And he's going to have the first down at about the 38. His first catch, good for 9 and a first down.
In so many ways, throwing the hitch route is actually one of the safer things an offense can do. Get the ball out to the receiver as fast as possible, hope he's got man-to-man coverage, and hope that his athleticism wins on the perimeter.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38.
Watch the run, watch the run.
10th carry now for Elliott. And the reinforcements come in as they're going to stop him behind the line. That sends him 2 yards in the wrong direction and leads to 2nd down. He was able to escape momentarily in the backfield, but you could just kind of tell that wasn't going anywhere.
You know, in the film session, he'll get a minus for not getting him on the ground by himself. But what the coach is really going to analyze, how fast did his teammates get there to help him? If one guy slows him up, everyone else better be there, and that's what they got on that play.
Here we go. 4-8. Mike 54. Let's go. 26. Man up, deep. Man up. 26.
On 2nd down, it's Elliott. And they're able to get this one past the 30 down to the 25. Give them 14 on that one and a first down. A tough run by Ezekiel Elliott, the 4th overall pick in the 2016 draft.
If you watch tape of him in college, you saw plenty of those runs because I know the highlights showed him in the open field breaking away from people, but that's how he wore down defenses, those exact type of runs.
So after a good run by Zeke, another 1st and 10.
Watch the slant.
On play action, Prescott stepping up. He's going to keep it. And he's tackled a yard short of the marker. Good gain of 9 on 1st down.
Now, that was not a bad scramble there on 1st down. He didn't force it, nor did he throw it away. He was able to take off, and now he made it a very manageable 2nd and short.
Right there. 54, Mike. I'm coming after you. I'm coming after you. I'm coming after you. Hey.
Draw play, Elliott. And on this one, he'll get to the 15, right at the 15-yard line. A gain of just a yard, but it's a first down.
Now, that's the way to do it. Hand it to someone with vision and good footwork, and add in a little bit of power, and you find a way to pick up first downs.
This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10. They keep on the ground with Elliott. 2 yards on the pickup there. It'll be 2nd and 8.
They did a really nice job there defensively. They strung the play out, didn't give him a cutback lane. On each play, you have guys what I call our BCR players. Guys are responsible for the bootleg, for the cutback, and for the reverse. They played that one perfectly.
And rode him right out of bounds. On 2nd down now. It's Elliott. And he's going to get about 4 down inside the 10 to the 9.
When you find that kind of yardage, you couldn't be more confident as a ball carrier. And guess what? You're going to go back and tell your offensive coordinator, I'd like to keep carrying it, thank you.
The Cowboys on 3rd down. 2 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 4. From the shotgun, it's Prescott. This will be caught just inside the 10. And he's able to pick up the first before he's brought down inside the 5 at the 4. The gain of 5 that time gives him the conversion and makes it 1st and goal.
I know most of the time when the ball's in the air, you're thinking wide receiver, tight end, but running backs, they can be a big part of any passing offense nowadays.
First and goal, and they got to be thinking a chance to get right back into this football game. Prescott now. And now he will score. Touchdown, Cowboys. Taking it in from 4 yards out as they are now on the board here in the first half. Not the first time on this drive we saw him take matters into his own hands, and this time he finishes things off with a touchdown run.
You're not going to be happy with me, but I think he took matters into his own feet, didn't he?
Oh, Davis from the top rope. I like it. Brett Maher on for the extra point. And that'll make it 13-7. A pretty long drive that time. 11 plays all told. And it results in a 4-yard touchdown run. Following the touchdown, here's Maher to kick it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. They'll start out here with a jet sweep. And he's upended after a gain of 2 out to the 27.
They'd love to just strike back with a touchdown right here, and if it's a long play, so be it. But the main goal, get a couple of first downs, run some plays, run some clock, allow their defense to get a chance to catch their breath, settle down, and relax a little bit after they just gave up a score.
They'll break the huddle, come up on 2nd and 8 at the 27-yard line. To throw, Cousins. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Michael Bennett, the former Texas A&M Aggie, dropping the hammer. And they weren't in zone coverage. They were in man, and each man did his job.
And that looked like vintage, old-school coverage, didn't it? Man coverage reminded me of an old Raiders team. They had a Hall of Famer at one corner and a Defensive Player of the Year at the other, and they just locked people down.
So now after the sack, Cousins and the Vikings come up here 3rd and long. 3rd and long for Cousins. That one into the hands of Thielen, complete. And this will not get close to the first down marker as he's brought down at the 26.
One hallmark of good defenses is understanding the game, understanding positioning, and tackling immediately in the secondary after catches. I think we just saw that on display right there.
Got to him before he ever had a chance to think about turning it upfield. Here's Britton Colquitt now as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. 51 yards on the punt there. And the Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10. Here's the Dallas offense now heading back out onto the field. And things are starting to move in the right direction. They get the touchdown last drive, then their defense gets them the football back.
Yeah, now they have a chance to get the lead if they can put something together here. And I'm eager to see how they decide to do it. Do they want to be methodical, or do they want to take the big strike and go after it right now?
So Prescott and the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at their own 24. They start on the ground with Elliott. And he will lose yardage here back at the 23-yard line. A loss of 2 there, second down.
Anytime you call an inside running play, you just know there should be a lot of congestion there. You're counting on your offensive line to take control of the line of scrimmage. That didn't happen in this case, and that play got bottled up.
First play of the drive goes the wrong way. Here's second and 12.
Here we go.
Another carry tonight for the workhorse Elliott. That's what they needed. It's an 8-yard gain, and now 3rd and 4 suddenly doesn't look so bad.
But you got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
The Cowboys on 3rd down. They've hit it 50%, 3 of 6 to this point. This is 3rd and 4. Now Prescott. And that is incomplete. Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better. Got to get more help. Obviously one that should have been caught. They got to find a way to bring those two elements together so they can make some progress in this one.
Out now comes the Cowboys punter. He's been terrific so far. And that one hits at the 7, but bounds into the end zone, and that'll be a touchback. Kirk Cousins and the Vikings offense back on the field. And maybe he's starting to wave the white flag a little bit. He's playing pretty well, but the pressure, it's got to him.
Has to find a way to step around it, step through it, or just handle it. Because as you mentioned, he's having a pretty good day overall. Just the hits keep coming and taking those sacks. That's not the way that they want to finish a ball game with their quarterback on the ground so much.
He'd like to stay upright. When he's been upright, he's been pretty good. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
so well. Go to something else.
And maybe you try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
The stop for no gain brings up 2nd and 10 from the 20. Cousins gives way to Cook. And he'll go down at the 26, following a gain of 6.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
The Vikings on 3rd down. Just 1 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 4. From the shotgun, it's Cousins. And this is Cook with a grab. Well, this is going to depend on the spot, but it's not a very generous one. He looks to be about a yard or so short. 4 yards on the pickup, and that's going to make it 4th down.
A short gain that doesn't get them the first down brings up a 4th down situation.
Really nice job defensively. They knew where the sticks were. They got the stop before it. Here's Britton Colquitt now as he's on to punt for Minnesota. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. It'll be a 51-yard punt that time. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
But you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
So Prescott of the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at the 20. They'll start the drive with Elliott. And he'll go down at the 26 following a gain of 6.
Let's talk a little football 101 here, because one of the keys to advancing the ball downfield, success on 1st down. Huge difference, as we know, between 2nd and 4 and 2nd and 8 and 9.
6 yards on that last play. Here's 2nd and 4.
No such thing as a loss. We taking wins home.
Throwing, Prescott. And he hits Jason Witten, the tight end. And they work this well upfield across the 45. A gain there of 21 yards. Boy, you got to think that having the 37-year-old veteran Jason Witten back at tight end is going to be great for Dak Prescott for plays just like that. And you think to last year when Witten wasn't there, it was kind of a rotating carousel. They had Blake Jarwin, Jeff Swaim, Rico Gathers, Dalton Schultz. But Witten back out there and doing his thing again. Prescott now 6 of 10 in this 1st half. He's got his guys a 1st down here. Off play action to Elliott. Here's Prescott rolling to his right. He's going to take off with it. And he's down right around midfield after a gain of 2, maybe 3.
Yeah, he only gets a few yards on 1st and 10, but he's better off doing that than throwing an incompletion, or even worse, an interception.
Prescott now from the 50. He'll run it. And he will avoid the contact as he slides to a stop. And this is going to turn into another 1st down as the tackle is made at the Vikings' 32-yard line.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the 3rd one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
Watch the pass. Watch the pass.
Play action now, Prescott. Caught by Cobb. And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line. That one goes for 24 yards.
Never make the mistake that the slot receivers, especially the little guys that we're watching here, are just quicker than fast. A lot of them combine quickness and speed, and they catch a lot of footballs, as we just saw there.
Two big plays in succession. Not sure this D knows what hit him, but now they got to get ready. It's 1st and goal. Now Prescott. He finds his target. It's Schultz. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. That's good for a gain of 6. 2nd and goal.
Nice rhythm throw there on 1st down. He located his tight end, made it a nice easy pitch and catch.
Hoping he can break a tackle or two. Wasn't able to do that there, but still good yardage. From the 2 now, 2nd and goal. They'll try to run it in with Elliott. And he will take it in for a Cowboy score. Taking it in from 2 yards out as his guys can now take the lead with the extra point. And Charles, he's able to dive in there in a short yardage situation.
Just find a place to get to the end zone. Didn't matter where it was, but once he did, used his nose for the end zone and dove in.
Marr now to add the extra point. And his kick is right through. So that a 7-play, 80-yard drive. And it culminates in a touchdown run by Ezekiel Elliott. Following the touchdown, here's Marr to kick it away. This is fielded at the goal line. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. And you see Dalvin Cook and the offense heading back out. He's been good. They've utilized him well, but they're losing here in the second quarter. What might they change offensively?
I think that what you try and do is expand how you get the ball to him a little bit. Get him out in open space, maybe swing the ball to him. What's that they used to call it in the West Coast offense, the long handoff? Yeah. Serve as your running play that way, as well as continue to feed him the football. Some of these runs now may pop bigger later in the game because of the effects of running it. Sometimes people, after a while, they don't want to tackle him anymore, or they get tired, or they get out of position, or he runs through.
Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. The sack by Robert Quinn.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing second and a bundle. 2 minutes remaining in this first half of football. We remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll pay a visit to Jonathan Coachman. He's in Orlando, and he'll have our EA Sports halftime report. And now a throw here secured by his running back out of the backfield. Now the Cowboys going to burn the first of their timeouts. So as they take it over, we step aside. And on third down, a nickel formation here defensively. From the gun, here's Cousins. And Rudolph has it, the tight
end. It's always a goal that's really nice defensively when you can rally to the football and make sure there's enough contact to force an incompletion.
Force an incompletion and force another punt. Here's Britton Colquitt now as he's on to punt for the fourth time tonight. Now Austin. A nice job on the return there, 16 yards. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. Amari Cooper and the rest of the offense heading back out there now. Second quarter, a guy like him, no catches, so that's the surprising part. But they're winning, so maybe they've been able to do some other things effectively, I guess.
And they found other ways, haven't they? Because the receivers would tell you, offense needs to run through us, but they're managing to get it done in this ball game without having to actually do that. I wouldn't expect them to stay silent for the rest of the game.
Yeah, you got to think that his first catch is coming at some point. So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Prescott. That's complete to Cow. 7 yards, the pickup on the pitch and catch.
Nothing fancy on first down, but a very consistent type of a play. Hit that slant. A lot of people call it an extension of the running game, and it can be if that pass is completed, because you hit a guy on the run like that, he often can go for big yardage.
Sets him up nicely for second down, staying ahead of schedule. And he's going to have to eat this one as down he goes. Danielle Hunter, his second sack of the night. You think back to last year, Dak Prescott was sacked 56 times, second most in the league behind Deshaun Watson of the Texans. The Cowboys going to use their second timeout now, as they'll stop it with just over a minute to go before halftime. On third down, it's Prescott. He's got his target. It's Cobb. It's a gain of 16 and the Dallas first down.
But it appears that they read man defense and went to the out route, and what you have to do on that one is the receiver's got to make sure he works the defender towards the middle of the field to give himself space to cut to the outside and have that ball delivered with good timing, and they got it done.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Completes it to Jason Witten. And they're able to work this to the 25 before it's all said and done. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
The goal for any offense versus his own defense, find the holes where guys are available and put the ball on the receiver before any defender can step up and fill it.
They did it well there. Perfectly executed crossing route. Prescott now 11 of 15 through the air. Here's 1st and 10. Now a timeout signaled for, and they'll get it with 10 seconds to go before halftime. So even though it's first down, here's the field goal unit on now to try to get 3 before halftime. From the left hash, it's a 42-yard attempt. The kick by Maher is good. And that'll move their lead up to 4 now. Of course, the door for Maher was opened after a little bit of a surprise move. The Cowboys letting go of Dan Bailey last year.
Yeah, Maher took over in the preseason. He's from Nebraska via the Canadian Football League, where he kicked for 4 years. And I saw him personally make 2 game-winning field goals last season against Detroit and in Atlanta.
After the made field goal, Maher back out there to kick it away. This is taken at his 4. And it's a pretty good return here as he'll get it up to the 29-yard line. Trying to get one more in here before the quarter breaks.
Hey, come on out here. Come get some. Come get some. Come out here. Come get some.
Final play of the half, Cousins. He's going to loft one deep left side here. Into double coverage, and it's intercepted. Picked by Darian Thompson. And he will be brought down as time is now run out on this first half of action. So we've reached halftime here in a 4-point game as we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman in our EA Sports Halftime Report. Take it away, Coach.
Okay, Brandon, thanks very much, and welcome in everyone to an abbreviated version of the EA Sports Halftime Report. This one has been a hard-hitting affair to this point, and you gotta expect we'll see more of the same in the second half. And to bring the action your way, let's get it right back out to Brandon Gaudin.
All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. This is taken at the 3. And he'll take this one near the 25, call it the 26-yard line. Here's Kirk Cousins now, the centerpiece of our player spotlight. And he has not really been able to have a lot of comfort back there in the pocket. Pressure's been coming at him a lot, hasn't it?
And they've got to figure out how to tamp down that pressure. How do they decrease it? Is it getting rid of the football quicker? You know, shorter drops? Maybe they do something different with their pass blocking and their protection schemes. Maybe you meet them on the line of scrimmage instead of retreating to try and protect your quarterback. They've got to figure something out, though, because you cannot let your guy get hit that much, not if you intend to win.
Yeah, I know they'd like to erase that video and those 4 sacks that they've seen so far. Starting the third quarter with Cook. And he will lose yardage and be backed up to the 24. Call it a full 3 yards in the wrong direction there. Brings up second down. Up front, the struggles continue for this offense among the line. What can they do? Change the play calling? What?
I think part of that, yes, changing some of the play calls, some screens, some draws, some misdirection. You want to run any type of a play that will influence these guys and continue to get upfield and find a way to use that against them and slip things in behind them. So some quick passes could work as well.
Again, it's Cook. And an alley to run. They get 11 back on that one. It leads to third down. So from second and long, now we go to third and very manageable.
Yeah, they love that phrase, don't they? Because as an offensive coordinator, you can keep people a little bit off balance and guessing because you don't have to throw it. You can come back with a strong run game if you want to. And if you're in 4-down territory, that really opens things up for you.
Throwing, Cousins. Open man is Thielen. It's complete. And he will have a first down as they get him to the ground at the 37. A first down for Minnesota. Cousins finding Thielen.
And that one was a lot of fun right there because that was the game within the game. Third and short. Blitz was on. What's the key for the quarterback? Get out of your hands in a hurry. And that was a quick little completion. Got the job done for a first down.
Line of scrimmage, the 37 on 1st and 10.
Let's go, D. Big series right here. We got to step it up.
Cousins now. And this one hauled in by Rudolph. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. Well, that tight end position, it just seems to continue to evolve every year in the NFL.
Yeah, you're getting really terrific athletes. A lot of them maybe were wide receivers at one point. They continue to give you speed, great hands, and big bodies, which make them excellent targets for quarterbacks.
On second down, Cook. And it's been like this all night long. Nowhere to run as they stop him behind the line. It's a loss of 2, now third down.
Unfortunately for you, you've been around me for a little while now, so you know me as well as anyone and how I look at a game. I don't ever advocate abandoning anything. But in this case, I'm going against my own thought process. You got to change it up. You got to start throwing it around a little bit, finding ways to try and move the ball because keeping on the ground just isn't working for them.
Yeah, maybe get him the ball out of the passing game, a swing pass outside or something, just something to vary it up. These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on third down. Now the throw on third down, knocked away and incomplete. Sean Lee, the linebacker, able to get a hand in coverage.
Really good, smart play by the defense, understanding third and short, guarding the first down sticks, and being able to make a play on the football and bat it down.
Here's Britton Colquitt now, as he'll come on for his 5th kick of the night. And he'll get off a fairly short kick here as this is toward the sideline. The Cowboys offense now, they head out for their first possession of the second half. They have the lead here. Well, we talk a lot about pregame speeches. What are halftime speeches like?
For the most part, not nearly as emotional. They're a lot more clinical. Every now and then, though, they'll get after you if they think they need to light a fire. But in this case, let's go into the virtual locker room, because here's what I think happened. They got in there and they said, listen, let's take control right away. Defense, we got the lead. Defense, don't give up any points. Turn the ball back over to the offense.
And that's caught inside the 30. Touchdown, Cowboys. Amari Cooper, 59 yards. And the Cowboys, they push out in front further.
When you're thinking about your opening drive in the third quarter, you're thinking about exactly that, putting together a drive. But instead, what did we get?
Big pass downfield, touchdown. I thought, okay, just sitting back in my chair, let's get eased in, a couple runs. No, boom.
Yeah, forget the body blows, folks. Let's throw the big shot right now.
Marr on for the extra point. And that one pushes the lead up to 11. And they're able to get the connection on the long touchdown pass. And that's one of the easiest drive summaries you'll ever see. One play, touchdown. Following the touchdown, here's Marr to kick it away. That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Vikings offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And with this deficit, you can't have too many more drives like the last drive where you had to punt it away.
You know what I would tell my offense right here? The punter doesn't exist, guys. He doesn't even exist. He's not a team anymore. I just cut him, all right? So you've got to go out and create some offense for us here and give us some points. No way does that guy get on the field on this drive.
Poor punter.
Yeah, it wasn't his fault. But, hey, listen, there's got to be casualties at times. We're trying to win a game.
Play action now. Cousins. Going deep for Diggs. It's caught inside the 25. And all the way down to the 22-yard line. Cousins finding Diggs on a big one. 53 yards. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described. Looking down at that sheet, you find people plays, not necessarily X's and O's, and that's exactly what they did there.
So barely time to catch our breath. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the red zone. From the gun, it's a give to Cook. And they're able to swarm him behind the line, and his rough night continues. The excellent play last time is followed by a much more routine gain of 3.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
They run it again with Cook. And just a couple yards there down to the 17.
Well, they still have time to get him established, but in my estimation, they've got to pick up the urgency here. They've got to get quickly in and out of the huddle and run off a bunch more plays.
In need of a conversion on 3rd down. They had the big play to start the drive. Not much sense. Throwing is Cousins. And this is going to be incomplete.
I think that was a good job there defensively. They did allow him to drive all the way downfield, but once they got their backs to the goal line, they really turned up the pressure.
Yeah, they let him get all the way down here. Now the field shrinks. They've struggled to convert, and that last incompletion brings up 4th. So now the field goal unit trots out there for the 3rd time tonight. From the left hash, this from 34. Bailey's kick is good. And high fives for that one as that drive ends in 3. So that one is his 3rd of the game. Now, if you're wondering, that's only halfway to his career high, as he once had 6 field goals.
Brandon, but 6? Let's hope we don't get that again, please. Can we see a few touchdowns here and there?
That'd be nice. Now, after the field goal, Bailey will kick it away. This is fielded at the goal line. And the decision to bring it out, a good one, as he's up a yard or 2 shy of the 30. Here's the Dallas offense now, heading back out onto the field. And following that long touchdown pass, a 1-play drive last time, we'll see if the defense, you know they're ready. They don't want that to happen again.
And you would have thought they would have been ready the last time. That's what you work on all the time. Make sure that no one gets behind you. That's the cardinal sin of defense, not giving up the long pass. They did. Let's see how they adjust.
So Prescott and the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at their own 28-yard line. They'll try to sweep with Elliott. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. Call it a loss of 6 on the play. And it'll be a 2nd and long.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
Let's go, defense. Let's get out the field, defense.
Now on 2nd and 16. Prescott. And this is caught by Witten, the tight end. That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. The last time we saw Jason Witten on a football field instead of the broadcasting booth was, of course, 2 years ago, 2017. He had 63 catches, 560 yards, 5 touchdowns. It was his 11th Pro Bowl that season for a man who came into the league back in 2003. Prescott from the gun on 3rd. And he's caught on the sideline, but he's not going to have a first down. They say he was out of bounds, so a big call there that brings up 4th.
Partner, the way this offense has marched up and down the field during this game, it's almost a surprise to see an incomplete pass on 3rd down, isn't it?
Yeah, they have had their foot on the gas all game long, but here finally stalling out. Out now comes the Cowboys punter as he's on to kick it away. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. Good open field tackling there. A 50-yard punt followed by just a 1-yard return. And that will come the offense as they take over. And now out comes Minnesota. And after the field goal last time, we'll see what they can get here. At least they got points out of the last drive, Charles.
I never met an offensive coach that didn't want to drive to end with a kick. Most of them wanted to end with a PAT, right? In this case, a field goal, they'll take it. Way better than the alternative, which is a punt.
Yeah, but you've met fan bases that wanted that, that weren't happy with that field goal.
I haven't met a fan base yet that wants to drive to end with a kick, other than the extra point. That's it.
Here's Cook as they begin on the ground. And he'll get about 6 up to the 27-yard line.
Running lanes were at a premium in the first half, but he's able to find some room there, and he's hoping that that's a precursor of a big second half.
The last run got 6, now 2nd and 4.
Here we go.
Here's Cousins. Rush coming, and he's taken down. DeMarcus Lawrence able to drop him that time for his 2nd sack of the evening.
My man, it's been a rough night for that offensive line, and it's only getting rougher. 5 sacks now that they've given up in this contest so far. It feels like the witching hour out here, doesn't it?
Okay, stupid question. What's the witching hour?
Yeah, the witching hour. That's when everything goes haywire late at night.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on 3rd down. Working out of the gun, Cousins. And he's got Kyle Rudolph. And he gets this one just shy of the 40, down at the 39. 12 yards there, 1st down, Vikings.
They gave up the completion there, but this is what zone defenses count on. Catching the ball and not much run after the catch.
Cousins now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. No gain on the dump off. It's 2nd down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. Looking to throw on 2nd down. Cousins. And on the left sideline, he caught it, but out of bounds, according to the head linesman. Incomplete, so the ball a little late getting there, and it's 3rd down.
All right, that one fell incomplete there, but the best quarterbacks, they'll miss on 40% of their throws, somewhere in that neighborhood, similar to a great hitter in baseball who's going to fail 7 out of 10 times and still have a great year. In this case, you want perfection, but way better that it hits the ground instead of going to an opposite color jersey.
That one into the hands of Thielen, complete. And he's going to have another 1st down here as the tackle's made at the Cowboys' 45-yard line. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a 1st down.
So from Cowboy territory now, here's 1st and 10 at the 45-yard line. A 10th carry in the game for Cook. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave him with a 2nd and 3.
It's interesting going into this game. There was so much talk from both sides about who would control the line of scrimmage. I think we've seen who has it in this one so far.
Well, they bottled him up. He's barely averaging over 3 yards a carry right now.
Push him back. Push him back.
Play fake. Cousins. And complete. Right side, the tight end Rudolph. A gain of 13. It's a 1st down.
So much goes into a successful play, doesn't it? How about that play action there, freezing the defense just enough to bring the tight end free downfield for the completion.
Check. Watch 54. Watch the run.
1st down, here's the run with Cook. Shedding the tackle. And not much. Maybe a yard down to the 23.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
It's out of time.
On 2nd and 9, Cousins. He completes it to Treadwell. 12 yards there and a 1st down.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you may curl it a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion. That's complete, right around the 8. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up 2nd down.
And, partner, I think that was a great example that not all tight ends are created equal because everything was right. Got the completion, but he's not one of the more dynamic guys in the league. So even though he caught it, couldn't turn it into much more.
2nd and 5 after the 5-yard completion on first down. Now Cousins. To the end zone, but it's incomplete.
You got to be precise with your throws, especially in this situation. You're inside the 10-yard line going into the end zone. But sometimes the emotion, the excitement, sometimes the decisions just aren't made very well because of that.
They come up now 3rd and 5 following the incomplete pass. Cousins again. And it's intercepted at the goal line. Chidobe with a pick. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Well, hey, we talked about the AFC playoff picture. Let's look at the NFC. That's a different story. You've got Dallas and Philly neck and neck in the East. Then Green Bay, New Orleans, and San Francisco as division leaders. But with only 2 more wild card spots, going to be some good teams left out in the cold in January.
Yeah, because right now you got Seattle at 7-2, Minnesota 6-3. They would be in as of right now. But the Rams 5-3, Carolina, and whoever doesn't win the East out of either Dallas or Philadelphia, this is going to be a heck of a battle, isn't it? People are going to have an effect on this conference with every game that's played, maybe even teams that aren't in the conference. Because if you lose to someone, anyone, it could knock you out of the race.
So Prescott and the Cowboys now with a 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. A 20th carry here for Elliott. He'll get about 3 as he's taken down at the 23.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
Now 2nd and 7 from the 23. Again, it's Elliott. And this will go as a gain of 7 as he gets it to the 30-yard line.
They're trying to show that they can run the ball and protect this lead. Give it to the backs, play a little bit of keep away, don't you think?
And that's probably a good philosophy at this point, going to make that defense stand up and stop them.
Check Mike 54. Mike 54. If you don't get this board, you think you're going to 26.
Off play action to Elliott. Here's Prescott. Ready, one fly deep for Cooper. Oh, this is taken in. It's complete. They'll get 34 yards there.
I know we love our jobs, and pretty much any play we see, we're pretty, excited about. But big plays, let's face it, that's what we absolutely live for. How about that one?
That was great. And what our camera missed was the fist pump from the sideline after that catch. They're fired out. That's a big gain. So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. And now it looks like we've got a Cowboy shaken up down there on the field. While the trainers take a look, we'll step aside.
Check. Watch 54. I got him.
On 2nd down, it's Elliott. And they'll work it inside the 15-yard line before it's all said and done. 15 yards on the play, 1st down.
I think we're seeing the effect that runs like that are starting to have on this game. They're a little bit slower, that front 7, reacting to the football, almost like body blows in boxing, slowing them down, and they're really starting to take over in this game.
Right there in the middle, 55. I'm going to run you over.
Elliott. And this time they were ready for him as he's taken down at the line of scrimmage. Eric Kendricks, the Vikings' leading tackler a season ago, in on the stop.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
They'll try to throw now. Prescott. And this is caught. It's Cooper. And all the way down inside the 5 to the 4. 11 yards there. First down.
It's funny when I go back to our pregame meeting with Amari Cooper and we mentioned, what if they play man coverage against you? He almost seemed offended by it, didn't he?
I'll beat it. That's basically what he said, right?
I mean, the best receivers we've ever talked to and covered, when you talk about covering them with one guy, they think that's a personal affront. If they feel like if they can't just beat one defender, then they're not very good.
It's a loss of 4 on the first down play. Well, he had 2 sacks earlier. Now he has 4 total tackles for a loss after that play.
Well, they obviously have to do a better job trying to block him. But short of that, you know what the quarterback has to do? Make sure he doesn't hand it to him when he's back there thinking he's one of his own guys. His quickness, his suddenness, his speed getting into the offense's backfield has been something else in this game.
Now this will probably be the last play of the quarter. They'll try again with Elliott. And yet again, he stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Great job by this Vikings defense. Back now in Arlington. It's the Cowboys with a football. They'll be looking to tack on to their lead as we get set for the 4th. They've been stuffed twice here for losses. Now it's 3rd and goal. Prescott from the gun. He'll buy some time right. He can run for it, and he will. And this effort won't be enough as they rally up to stop him a couple of yards short. Pretty solid gain of 7 yards that time as he scrambled, but now they face a 4th down.
I like this effort there. He got it done on his own. But let's face it, he puts defenses in a really stressful spot when he takes off and runs because a lot of guys have coverage responsibilities.
Good job of rallying, though, because I thought when he first took off, he might pick up the first down. So on 4th down, out trots the kicker in a big spot here. This to make it a 2-score game. Marr able to put this one through. And that will extend their lead even further. So his 2nd field goal of the game, and that could turn out to be the big one.
Yeah, you have to make them score twice to beat you, and that's not impossible. But here in the 4th quarter, puts their backs clearly against the wall.
After the made field goal, Marr back out there to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now the Vikings offense gets set to take over here. And they had a nice little drive going last time. Threw the interception in the red zone. Costly.
Bad enough to throw it anywhere, but that drives coaches insane when they're thinking about, hey, we've got a shot at points already. We're already in a spot where you're thinking you've got 3 on the board for sure, and to come away with nothing, that's a really tough one for them to swallow.
Yeah, will they make up for it? Kirk Cousins last year started all 16 games, but only led the Vikes to just 1 4th-quarter comeback like he's trying to do here. Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. They need a touchdown, the 2-point conversion, and a field goal. Pretty good start to the drive, though.
Yeah, good start to the drive, but the urgency has to really be increased by both the players on the field and everyone on the sidelines. Got to make sure everyone is up and into this game.
They'll come up now 2nd and 4 from the 31. Cousins. And Rudolph has it, the tight end. A gain of 5, good enough for the first down.
This possession means so much for them. They've got to focus on this drive and find a way to make this a 1-possession game.
Yes.
Got to get a score.
Yeah, so good with a field goal. Don't necessarily need a touchdown. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
Mike
From the shotgun, it's Cousins. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up second down.
It's easy to see when we review this that the ball needs to come out quicker, because if you don't throw it right on the break, you bring a crowd of people into the equation.
And that's why it got knocked away there. They'll try again from the 36 on 2nd and 10. They'll throw again. Cousins. Over the middle here to Rudolph. And he's going to have another first down here as the tackle's made at the Cowboys' 42.
All right, this is the time of the game where they're down a couple of scores, and they've really got to get some yards in chunks, and they know the defense doesn't want to give those up, but they've got to find a way to take them anyway.
Now the question is, can they string a few of those together? So from Cowboy territory now, here's 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line. To the air again, it's Cousins. That's complete to the receiver, Thielen. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. It's a gain of 11 as the Vikings pick up the first.
I think it all came together there. In-breaking route, drove it with excellent pace. Money throw right there to move the sticks.
Watch the screen. Watch the screen.
On 1st and 10, Cousins. And Diggs has it. And down inside the 15 he goes. 17 yards, first down, Vikings. And with that last play, he's now up over that 300-yard mark.
And in today's NFL, it almost feels routine. And I hate that when you talk about a 300-yard passing game. To me, 300 yards still signifies excellence, and he's achieved that in this performance.
Cousins going to come up on a 1st and 10, and he's 5 for 6 now throwing the ball on this drive. On 1st down, it's Cook, and he'll get into the end zone. Touchdown, Minnesota. 14 yards as his guys are back within a single score. And they're able to run it in. It started with a battle in the trenches. They won there, and they got in for 6 points.
And that's going to be a tough one for the defense to deal with. They've got to go to the bench now and figure out how are we going to slow down this running game, because on that particular play, they had no answer.
All right, now a big 2-point conversion attempt still to come.
Hey, we got to get this stop here, Jim.
From the gun, here's Cousins. Toward the end zone, but that's going to wind up incomplete. Should have been picked. Probably doesn't matter on a 2-point conversion, but still, as a former DB, you want to grab that ball when you can, don't you?
You certainly do, and don't say it, because I know you're thinking it. Don't say it.
What am I thinking?
You know what I know what you're thinking. Well, if he'd had hands, he'd be playing on offense, right?
That's true. You've said that before. Bailey now to kick it away after the touchdown. This is taken at the 3. And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line.
Let's go!
Getting set to go again. We get a look at Amari Cooper as he heads back out there now. And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this, but it's usually not by himself, is it?
Right.
Usually it opens it up for other people to have big games as well.
About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember they did put points on the board.
3 points is 3 points.
And in this league, you take points when you can get them. Not easily done. Well, how about this aggressive approach? Got the lead, fourth quarter, continuing to throw the football. Are you thinking about Super Bowl 51? Atlanta had the lead against New England, and they ended up giving it up?
I was going to say don't say it, but you did say it.
I did, didn't I?
Yeah, anybody watching Atlanta, our apologies. Took just one play to move all the way to the 44 as they try again on first down. They play fake to Elliott. Now Prescott. He's got a man complete. It's Amari Cooper. And they'll get this well past midfield before being stopped just before the 35. A good pickup there, 21 yards.
Not only have they completed a couple on this drive, but they peeled off some pretty good chunks of yardage, too.
Absolutely. Great start. 2 nice plays in the pass game. Now can they continue to feed off that? Prescott now perfect since the second half started. 7 of 7. It's 1st and 10. Now Elliott. And they'll get 8 out of this before being stopped at the 28.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run. Got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one, right up the gut.
Saw it through 3 quarters. No reason to lighten up now.
Watch the twist, watch the twist.
On second and a couple. Prescott completes it to Jason Witten. And he'll be brought down at the 21, just shy of the 20 in the red zone. 6 yards the pickup, and that's a first down.
That was a route run not just with dexterity, but with intelligence. Found the hole in the zone, made sure the quarterback saw him, and was able to make the sure catch and flip the down marker back to 1.
They'll run on first down. Elliott. And he's brought down just outside of the 10 at the 11. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down. Well, with the fumble he had earlier, we know how key keeping the football is here. That fumble earlier probably at the forefront of his mind. Just hold on to this thing.
It's also at the forefront of the mind of the guys who are trying to get the ball from him. And since they've seen him drop it on the ground before, they're doing everything possible to have him do it again. They need that turnover.
Well, he's got it. And he can't quite get there. Tackled down at the 1. It's a first down on a gain of 10. Tell you what, he's been able to put the ball in some tight spots all game long. That throw, no different.
Yeah, a lot of people would call it a gutsy type of a throw. I think he looks at it as, I can do it, so it's not that big of a deal to me, and I'm going to keep firing.
From the shotgun, it's Prescott. That ball is caught. It's Gallup. Touchdown, Cowboys. A 1-yard touchdown pass. And the Cowboys, they push out in front further. On those slants, everything happens so quickly. What makes it work?
The timing between the passer and the receiver. In this case, a slant route ordinarily is probably about 3 steps before you go on the slant. In this amount of time, I think it was a 2-step deal. Boom, put his foot in the ground and got inside for the pass.
Got inside for the pass, got inside for the catch and the score. And applause in the action because the booth, they see something that they want to take another peek at to find out if this was a touchdown or not. It took them an extra look, but they found out it is a touchdown indeed. The official says this one counts. Marr now to add the extra point. And this one gives his guys a 12-point lead. So the drive winds up going 75 yards in 7 plays. And it's capped off for the Cowboys touchdown. Following the touchdown, here's Marr to kick it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. The Vikings offense now heading out to take over. Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line. Cousins. And the throw left sideline here is caught, but they'll rule it incomplete. Couldn't keep his feet in. 2nd down. That pass just a little bit off. It looked like maybe he tried to force it in there.
Game speed, always different, no matter what you do in practice. Can't simulate it, right? So your decision-making, everything has to be a little bit quicker. Sometimes it can throw you off until you adjust.
A 2nd down throw for Cousins. And the Cowboys pressure gets there this time for the sack. DeMarcus Lawrence in there to get him yet again. That is his 3rd sack tonight. They can't figure him out.
Remember, throughout my career here in defensive coaches always say, guys, you got to earn the right to rush the passer. Well, they put themselves in a great spot with this big lead, and they know they've got to throw the ball.
These pass rushers have to be salivating. It is pin your ears back time indeed. So now after the sack, Cousins and the Vikings come up here 3rd and long. 3rd and long for Cousins. And that is incomplete. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. Here's Britton Colquitt now as the drive goes backwards, so he's on to punt it away. Juke into space. We'll call that a punt of 54 yards. Well struck. And now Dallas gets set to take the field. Well, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this 4th quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking 1st downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, 1st downs, they can't touch the ball.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Throwing. Prescott steps away. And he can't find a receiver, and he's brought down. There for the sack, Emerson Griffin. Well, they were coming out of the 4-3 defensively. Pressure coming off that right side from the DM.
And that's the blind side of most quarterbacks. If you're right-handed, that's the side you don't see quite as well. And that's why you rely on your left tackle, maybe your highest-paid offensive lineman, to take care of you. In this situation, that didn't happen.
Protection certainly going to need to be a bit better here on 2nd and 16. Looking to throw. Prescott. And that's Elliott. Complete. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield. 16 yards, a 1st down. Well, using Zeke Elliott in the passing game, that's something Cowboy fans are getting used to. Last year, 77 receptions. And you think back to his rookie season, he had 32 and then 26 his 2nd year. But he's really on the uptick.
Mike, here we go. Go right in. 55. And we heavy on the edges. Heavy on the edges.
1st down, Prescott. Got his man there, complete to Gallup. And they'll get him down after a pickup of 8, 2nd and 2.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect them to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch, good for 8 yards. Off the play fake, Prescott. That one complete to Elliott. And he'll go down shy of the 40 at the 41. 2 yards, good enough for a first.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
A first down throw for Prescott. And now he'll tuck it and run. And they're able to get this one past the 30 to the 25-yard line. A nice job there on the escape and scramble. A first down, a 16-yard gain.
Partner, as a quarterback, sometimes you just got to know when the clock has gone off in your head, it's time to go. Tuck it and get all you can.
On first down, it's Elliott. And I think this defense knew what was coming as he is smothered behind the line. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be 2nd down.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
A rare misstep on that last play because the drive has been strong, but now it's 2nd and 12. Out of the gun, here's Prescott. He'll try and run it. And they'll bring him down at the 18-yard line. It's a gain of 9 yards. And all of a sudden here, it's 3rd down. The Cowboys on 3rd down. They've converted 5 times in their many chances thus far. This time it's 3rd and 3. Here's Prescott. Complete to Jason Witten. And he will have the first down inside the 10 to the 9-yard line. They're able to convert on 3rd down, and that sets up a 1st and goal. He's been the go-to guy. They needed a big play there on 3rd down. Went his way. It worked out.
Doesn't matter whether they've scouted it or that they think he's going to get the ball. He has a knack for finding his way open and completing the connection.
A good chance now to put this game on ice. This is 1st and goal.
Strip that ball. Safe.
Now Prescott. Flushed out right. And he's going to keep. And he will score. Touchdown, Cowboys. A 9-yard touchdown run. And the Cowboys, they push out in front further.
Is it okay if I break one of our rules, partner, which is to never call a game over until it's over? Because this certainly feels like it's over after that drive.
Yeah, that was spirit-crushing, wasn't it? And now you just kind of felt the air go out of the balloon.
Yeah, they were fighting so hard to stay in there, and they knew they had to stop them on that drive. But when they were unable to, I think you're exactly right. You could see them sag on their sideline, and I think this one might just be over.
Extra point by Marr, up and good. And that will make this a 19-point game. So that drive consumes 9 plays all told. And a 9-yard run on the end of it. Following the touchdown, here's Marr to kick it away. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. Now the Vikings offense works their way back onto the field. And down on the scoreboard, certainly needing to avoid what happened on the last drive, punting the football.
Sense of urgency has to take over for them here. They know the score. They know the situation. And by the way, the punter no longer exists for their offense. That's how they have to treat this drive.
They need points.
Big time.
Cousins and the Vikings with a 1st and 10 at their 25-yard line. Working out of the gun, Cousins. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. DeMarcus Lawrence make that now 4 sacks for him in tonight's ball game.
We've been around this league for a while, and many coaches never pull their starting quarterback, almost no matter the situation. In this case, though, I think he's got to make a decision. He's taking a pretty good beating out there.
Yeah, and with the deficit, maybe not wanting to risk an injury. Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing 2nd and a bundle. Cousins now. And he's going to go down. Back at his own 5-yard line, it's a sack. DeMarcus Lawrence in there to take him down on what will take us to the 2-minute warning. So the Vikings in possession of the football as we get you reset. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. Now throwing on 3rd down there, but he cannot connect. Just nothing there again. He's been sacked multiple times. We've seen the interceptions, of course. He's really been through the ringer, hasn't he?
And what we've seen is a defense that's well coordinated. The front and the back really in sync. The front putting on the pressure, the backside being ball hawks and picking passes off.
Here's Britton Colquitt now as he's on to punt for Minnesota. A big kick that time, 52 yards. Here's the Dallas offense now, heading back out onto the field. And a few kneel downs should just about do it. Now, defensively, they do have all 3 timeouts, but very little reason to use them at this point. Good starting position for the Cowboys here as they come up 1st and 10 at the 45. They'll run with Elliott. And he's got it across the midfield stripe and into Viking territory. A nice run there, 9 yards, and it'll be 2nd down.
I have to chuckle to myself a little bit, Brandon, because right now I could be in that huddle with that offensive line. I know exactly what they're saying. If you call a pass play here, we're going to call timeout. Run the football. We've got control of this thing. Get him behind us and let's go.
Their time to shine. They go to Elliott again. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. 15 yards on the play, 1st down. Well, that looked like an example of what you said back in the first half. A running back of his size can really wear down a defense. I think he's starting to do that.
I think you're exactly right. And know what else he's doing? He's inspiring the rest of his team because they see this starting to happen as well. So that means they're going to redouble their efforts to help him out. Extra blocking, getting downfield, helping him out.
Back-to-back good plays have him on the move on 1st down. Here's Elliott. Eric Kendricks in on the tackle. Well, Trevor Because it's one thing to win, it's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feeling like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So that's a wrap for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. And this has been a presentation of the NFL on EA Sports. For more, check us out at easports.com. It's a win for the Cowboys as we sign off and say so long from Arlington.